This is the 2027 C8 Grand Sport Corvette. And in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to tell you why this is the best bang for the buck trim level that you can get with the C8. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Torch red is the exterior color here, but as you know, there are multiple colors that are available far beyond that. But this is the thing. With this particular model, you're going to have a lot of things that make it different from other C8s. It has some of the same chassis components as does the Z06. That's a good thing. And we're going to have things that you'll find on other models, such as your animated headlights, the daytime running lights, all of that's going to be here. You can see all of that coming on right there. You're going to have the aero package. You're going to have so many different things going on here. In fact, let me give you a couple of little details to help out with that. So this is going to combine much of the Z06's chassis with the wide body styling and a naturally aspirated pushrod V8 that is less extreme and, well, less expensive. That's a good thing than the Z06. And so that's going to position it between the Z06 and the Stingray. As you take a look at the front end here, you're going to see that everything is active. That's really good. All of the vents, nothing fake here as far as that goes. Now, one thing, if you were to buy one of these that I highly recommend, is to make sure to get the screens that go over these areas right here so that you don't get a bunch of rocks and junk coming in areas where they shouldn't be. That's a good thing. Full LED lighting. We're going to have our Corvette logo here on the front, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you the cargo space here. Here is your remote, by the way, with lock, unlock, remote start. You can pop open the front trunk, which we're about to do, and then we can also pop open the rear area as well. Now you have about 3 cubic feet right here as far as cargo space goes. So not a whole lot, but you know what? It's nice to have that so you can take full advantage of it, just to give you a little extra space. Let's just be honest here. That is not one of the strong suits of the C8, or C8, that didn't sound right, did it? Is cargo capacity. Now, rear wheel drive is what you're gonna have, at least on these models. 20-inch wheels here in the front. And then we're gonna move our way to the back here and show you the 21-inch wheels. So a little bit of a difference where that's concerned. What do you think about this finish on the wheels? Some people like the gloss black. Some people may like something a little bit different. There's quite a few that you can choose from. Now, we're going to come right here, and you're going to see your logo right here. Grand Sport logo is going to be here. And then I've always loved this little trim piece right here. It really grabs your attention, makes it look like the vehicle is already in motion. Now, as is always the case, I like to talk about the side view mirrors. Everything is going to be here. We're going to hit that button real quick so you can see the turn signal indicator come on. That's there. They're heated. They're power adjustable. They have blind spot monitoring built in. And they're also going to be power folding. Now, one thing that's interesting, it's probably going to be a little hard to show this, but I'm going to show you right here is your mechanical key. If I can get that button to work for me. There's your mechanical key. Now that's actually going to go in right down in this area. I don't know how easily we can show that, but the lock mechanism is right down there. You can also see the pad that you use when you open the doors up. We'll work our way back here. This is the coupe, by the way, so not a convertible, but I love how you can see the engine a lot better through the glass right there. That's always a nice thing to see. The area back here sweeping back like it does kind of reminds me of the old school Pro Modifieds of the IHRA days. Some of you may or may not know what that is, but this deck area really reminds me of that. And you're going to have the built-in spoiler. That's something else that's going to make it a little bit different when it comes to this particular trim level. Now, working our way down, we're going to have our LED lighting once again. Let me hit that button so you can see what goes on when we lock and unlock. So there's lock. Now we're going to unlock everything. You can see everything coming on there. Hopefully you can see it. It is kind of bright out here. It's very bright after dark. It may not look that way. And appropriately, as opposed to a lot of the other vehicles that are on the road today that don't have any exposed exhaust outlets, well, obviously we're going to have the quad tip, 2 on each side of the rear bumper back here. And once again, you can see some of that work with the aero package that's back here that we could see all around the vehicle. Now let's talk about what is under the hood here, or the bonnet, if you want to call it that. In this particular case, we're talking about a 6.7 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. Here, you're looking at 535 horsepower and 520 pound-feet of torque, still mated to that dual clutch 8-speed automatic transmission. It does have the wide body kit. Magnetic Ride 4.0 is going to be standard across every model, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 LT. 0 to 60, 2.75 seconds. That's actually a pretty good number of seconds. Now, I'm going to read these numbers off to you, and then we'll show you the window sticker. Here are your potential MPGs. 15 city, 23 highway, 17 combined. 5.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. For those of you that like to see the window sticker, this is one of those occasions where we can actually show it and you can see it really well. And on the heels of those MPGs, let's talk about the gas tank details. It's an 18.5 gallon gas tank. On a full tank of gas, if you're really good, you should be able to drive about 278 miles in the city, about 426 miles out on the highway. Now, coming back to this area right here real quick, I do want to show you, here's the additional cargo space that I mentioned to you, 9.6 cubic feet. So you've got all that space here, the space in the front, not a ton, but like I say, you know, this is not a car that you're going to daily drive most likely, although some people do. Now it does have the soft close area right here with the rear cargo area and all this. You can just set that down, just push on it just a tiny bit, and it's automatically going to go down. And how about that all-important question of the sticker price? Here at Chevyland in Shreveport, Louisiana, there is a link in the description of the video. If you want to know more, tell whoever you talk to that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you. $103,945 is the sticker price. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now, I do love the way everything is driver focused. The center screen and everything right here is facing the driver. I like that. I love that this has been changed. If you watched my C8 videos in the past, you saw that the air conditioning controls were one of my biggest gripes because they used to be located right over here on this area. This has changed in the last couple of years. That's a good thing. I like that. Let's work our way across the dash area. There's your button to open the glove box in case you're looking for that. And, well, basically a conventional size glove box. Very large armrests, decent sized door bins, not huge, but they're long, that's for sure. And so you can take advantage of that as you need to. You can see some of the contrast stitching that's going to be there, kind of showing up just perfectly in the sunlight. And we'll go over here to the driver's side. You do have heated and ventilated driver and passenger seats. They're both power adjustable with lumbar support. And then here's the button I pushed to fold those mirrors in. Now you can actually go into a setting in the screen to make that happen when you lock and unlock the car as well. Window or mirror controls, I should say. Here are your controls for your windows. And then we're going to have everything down here for our different driving modes. You can adjust your head-up display. You can see what all's going on here as far as that goes. This screen, by the way, is going to be a touch screen right here on the left-hand side. So depending on what you need, that's what you're going to do right there. You can hit HUD right there, do whatever you need to do, turn things on and off. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, but I'll show it to you anyway, show you some of our other controls that we're going to have here. This is a power adjustable steering wheel, by the way. There's the control right there. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable. Love the design here. It's not your typical round steering wheel. Looks really nice. I like that the stripe here is not black. That works really well. It's red. That is something. I own a 26 Honda Prelude that also has this little stripe in the center of the steering wheel, but it's black. Should be the color of the interior or whatever the case may be, different color options. I like what they did here. Now, everything for your steering wheel mounted controls here. Adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel. We don't need that today. It's headed for 100 degrees in Northwest Louisiana. Voice commands. And you can go through some of your other features here. You can even have different things such as tire pressure on there. There's a lot going on. You've got your scroll wheel here depending on what you need to scroll through and find, what you want to listen to. what source you want to use, and then you just press that to make that happen. Now, depending on the driving mode I'm in, will determine how the driver's display is going to look. So we're going to go back through a few things here, and don't worry, we're going to show you the different driving modes. That's going to be sport mode right there. Then we're going to come right here. You can see the change right there. There's sport mode for you. And then we go to track mode. I like that. That's probably the best one. There's where you're going to get the tire pressure. If you want to monitor your tire pressure, and then we go all the way up, you can also go and get to my mode. So that's going to be here. And then we're going to work our way over here to the center screen. Now you're seeing some of those modes right now. So what I'm going to do is I need to reach right up here. Let's see if we can do this and show you the different driving modes and the graphics that go with that. I really like what we have here that Chevrolet has done. So you see sport, you see track. We're going to come back up here. You're also going to have tour. That's going to be your base mode. Then we have my mode, and you can actually go in and make adjustments. As you can see, you also have weather. It's kind of hard to do because we're in a little bit of a tight space here, so I can't show you the way I normally would. But you can see what's going on where that is concerned as far as the different modes go. Now, here's something that's nice to know about. If there's something that you want on your driver's display that you don't see, come right here to engine and battery. So, fuel economy can be displayed. How about your engine hours if you want that up there? Battery. All of that's going to be here. So all you're going to do is come in right here and select Add to Driver Display. So I'm going to do that, and I don't know how well you can see it from this vantage point, but it is on the driver's display now. We can also hit Remove from Driver's Display if we want to, and then we hit the X and come back out of that. Hit Home, come back out of that. Here are our different camera views. You're going to have quite a few. Several different camera views depending on what you need to see. I like the split screen here. That works really well. That's a good thing. We'll also go into reverse and show you the backup camera right there so you can see what's going on with that. You can turn your trajectory lines on and off if you want to, depending on what you need to do. You can see that you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. We can come into climate right here and make adjustments. But as you already know, there are physical controls here, so that's always a good thing. I do not like vehicles that lack physical controls when it comes to the air conditioning. Just to run through some of our settings here to show you what's here so you know where it is and what it is. But I always like to go in here into vehicle because people ask specific questions. You can come in and look at quite a few things here. Audio settings, drive mode customization. You've got Z mode and my mode, depending on what you want to do right there. So here's what we have. A few different ways you can do this, not just on the screen that I showed you earlier, but you can also come right here and adjust depending on what you want. We can go to track if we want to do that right there with engine sound. You can see everything that's here. Just so you get an idea. My mode basically going to show you a similar screen to that, and then we come back out of that and we work down here. There's valet mode. Can you imagine you're a teenager driving your C8? Some of you might, but I'm not one of those people that would do that if I had a teenager. I don't have one. But here are our safety features. Forward collision avoidance. We're going to have front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, and we're going to have side blind zone alert, park assist, and rear cross traffic alert. Now here's the difference between the two different settings here. So right here, when you have that check mark, you can come in and turn it on and off. You always have the description on the right hand side of the screen that tells you what it is if you're not sure, or you can come right here. And this is the difference. So we can go to off, we can go to alert only or alert and brake. And once again, you're going to have everything over here on the right hand side that tells you exactly what the settings are as far as what is available here. Coming back out, we'll go take a look at a couple other things. You do have the Play Store right there. You can see some of the other things that we have. Let's go right here to performance, just so you can see some of the details. You can hear it and you can see it. Now I can't do the G-force meter right now because we're not moving, but it's really cool to see what all is here. We can also come and see the different screens that are available. So some really good telemetry, some good details, engine output, and all of the cool things right here. As you can see, you can also do your timing from 0 to 60, 0 to 100, quarter mile, as you can see. That is a really cool thing. Obviously, not every car is going to have something like that, but I like that. And then you can see what else we're going to have here as far as your Google Maps and all that good stuff. Google Assistant is here, so you can say, hey, you know who. I don't want to set off devices in your house, or I might actually do that if I wanted to play a prank on everybody. But there's basically what the screen has. And we'll work our way down. Here is your shifter. Not anything new as far as that goes, but that's going to be the shifter right there. Park, we can go into reverse like this. Neutral, we push, and then we pull again to go into drive. You can go to manual right there if you want to. You can use your shifter paddles that are up there on the shifter and then go back into park. This is the drive mode selector right here if you want to take advantage of that. And then the button right here turns on the camera. If you want to take advantage back there, you can see the camera is now up on the screen. And then we have our cup holders right here. Not very big, but they are here. And then I would love to see maybe a center console that opens both ways, but this is what we have. You can see there's your connectivity, couple of USB ports as far as that goes. And there is a wireless charging pad. It's just located right back here. That's nothing new, nothing unusual. And then you can see our audio system that we have right here. Let's give you a listen to that. And here's a quick sampling of the audio. By the way, you saw it, but here's where you turn the radio on and off and adjust your volume. Here's that sampling. Now, how about the difference in pricing? If you go Z06, $123,995 is the base price. Here on the Grand Sport, $88,495 is the base price. So that really helps to get that sweet spot. Not cheap by any means, but when you compare it to similar models, high performance cars like this, that's a pretty good deal. 0 to 60, 2.5 seconds. I think, or 2.75, I should say. I think that works really well. So tell me what you think about the 2027 C8 Corvette Grand Sport. Something you plan to buy. Tell me what your thoughts are. I'm always curious to know. I'd like to say a special thanks to our friends at Chevyland for loaning us this C8 Corvette for the day so we can tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's helpful and greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.